I have a lot to give, and I'll be more than happy to give you every single bit of it. I've been through it all. In my mind, there's no way you can fire me because I'm really good. Really, the last person I had to get to kind of clean things up was Hunter, Triple H. I mean, there's a long list of things I'd want to change.
We're going to transition into something that you probably are not too familiar with talking about out loud and on a public venue, and that's the world of professional wrestling. So I hope that doesn't catch you off guard. Yeah. So
it might, but just bear with me. I'll try to cope.
When people think of Degeneration X, in your mind, do you think they immediately think of Triple H and Shawn Michaels, or do you think they think of the New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, China, and of course Triple H was with you guys as well? But I mean, in all honesty, you and, BG and X-Pac were the true degenerates of the Attitude Era, and you were the ones doing the sophomoric antics, invading, the rival promotions and revolutionizing the business during your tenure. So who do you think resonates with the fans just when you think of Degeneration X?
Honestly, I think it's Shawn and Hunter. I mean, when you think of DX, everybody, of course, thinks it, because all of us, yeah, you're right. Me, Brian, X-Pac, we were complete degenerates to the word, all the way from the D to the however that word ends. But I think when you think of it all around and from a fan's perspective, DX is Shawn and Hunter. Because we were short-lived. We were only a spot. Because every time they bring DX back around, which is helping, that it's always Shawn and Hunter. It's never us. And, even the book just kind of mentioned us in their DX book. Just kind of, it was like a 2-paragraph. Oh, yeah, Brian and Billy and they were in there too. So, I mean, it's, I think generally people think of Triple H and Shawn.
You know what, and I hate to agree with you, but I think that is probably accurate. But when I'm the markiest of the marks, so when I think of it, I think of DX and the attitude that you guys portrayed on camera. And when they would bring Hunter and Shawn back, while I still was a fan, it was just like, okay, Hunter and Shawn are in the ring together wearing neon green. It wasn't the true feeling that I got when the DX music hit and you guys came out, and it had the nostalgic feeling like anything could happen. I mean, it just was not the same, as much as I do like those guys.
Yeah. That's understandable. I mean, yeah, I get it, but they kind of started it. We made it really good, and then they kind of still finish it off. It was like a big part of mine and Brian's career. That there's a select few out there that say, oh, without you, without the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac, it wasn't as good. We were, because we didn't care. We'd do anything.
If not the biggest. Do you think one of your biggest contributions to the Attitude Era was the fact that you and Brian were there every single night, putting over The Rock, putting over Steve Austin, and putting over the stars that eventually became the biggest stars in the business, in the history of the business? So do you think one of your contributions was, putting those guys over?
We did it, but the reason me and Brian put all these guys over and took their finishes and did one, we loved it. 2, we were very good at it. 3, we were probably the best in the whole locker room that could get it done. Because it wouldn't do any good if, Barry Horowitz and whoever came out and did it. It would just be, oh God. But it was, the New Age Outlaws were by themselves were over. And I don't mean to say all this just because I was a part of that. I'm just, stating what I've been, what kind of I feel is right. But, we were over because we got over with the people, because we were such goofballs. We were so goofy and so in tune with the people that, it got to be that, when they heard the, oh, you didn't know, one was Brian saying that whole thing was off the charts. I mean, it was deafening when he would do that, because the whole building would shake because everybody in the building would say it. So of course, when we would go out and do that with Austin, Rock, it didn't matter who it was. All right.
What's the biggest difference between working for Jeff Jarrett and Dixie Carter and Vince McMahon?
Vince will tell you himself that he doesn't know everything about this business. Nobody does. And if they say, I know everything about this business, they're a liar. You don't. That's what's so great about the wrestling business. If you have big ears and a little bitty mouth, you can learn so much about this business from all kinds of people. There's a bunch of guys that have been in this business. There's been a bunch of guys that have been on top. If you just listen to all of them, you can take a little bit from everybody and be a big star because they've done it, so they know how to get there. You know, and Vince, there's one chief in WWE, and that's Vince McMahon, which makes it a lot easier than being in TNA, which there's a whole bunch of chiefs and not enough Indians. You know, so, I mean, it's just organization and what to do in the business and how to make the business work. And that's the big, it's just organized up there. It's a machine. It is a machine, you know, and they know how to run it. You know, they know when certain parts need oil and they know when to take certain parts out and replace them.
How aware is New York of what goes on the internet wrestling community? How aware are they of what goes on the indie scene? And are they watching us right now, do you think?
Yes. When they got wind that I was going to be on here. No, I think they have people that do that. I mean, it would be, I don't think it would, they need to know what's going on at all times everywhere. Indie scene, internet, TV, news, radio, it doesn't matter. They have people, they have a division that I'm sure sits there and monitors that. You know, every time, you know, the gun show comes out, they go on there and go, oh, God, this guy again. Can't we get rid of him? But no, I think they're aware. I mean, does Vince know? Probably not. Does he know a little bit? Maybe, because Vince knows everything. I mean, you're really not going to get anything by Vince. So if you came up and said, "Hey, Vince, I'm Billy Gunn. I'm a huge internet sensation," he would probably go, "Heard of you." Yeah, and that would be about as far. And then he'd turn around and go, "Get out of my building, kid." But no, I mean, yeah, it would be silly for them not to know what's going on. You know, yeah, they know their company, but they got to know kind of where certain things are coming from and what's happening outside of the company when it pertains to wrestling.
And how would you book the tag division in the state that it's in? Honestly, I think there's a lot of talent there, but they're just so hesitant to go there with any of it. It's like they won't even give it TV time.
You know why? Because they don't care. They're not a tag. It's not a tag company. It is a singles company. You know, I put it like this. I always have put it like that since me and Brian were there. You know when you go to a fancy restaurant and you get that green stuff on the side of your plate that's supposed to make it look good or make it like just stand out a little bit? That's what the tag division is. We're that green stuff on the plate. It's just they don't put a lot of emphasis in it. They don't put a lot of time in it. You know, unless somebody just jumps out at you like a Legion or Doom or good Lord, I don't even know who, you know, the New Age Outlaws, you know, or Chuck and Billy or, you know, or the Smoking Guns. Oh, wait a minute. I was in all three of those teams. But still my answer would be, if you want it to really be over, bring New Age Outlaws back.
With no equivocations, are the New Age Outlaws the best tag team of all time? As far as you going back full time, in whatever capacity that is and whatever that means, are you afraid? Is your family afraid that if you do go back, that there is a chance that you will revert back to the old Billy Gunn?